Hey everybody, Joel at Up North Aquatics. Thanks for stopping by. It's a little bit after midnight and I'm doing a lot of my fish work, so figured what a time for an update. Even though we're kind of in between some projects here, we do still have a lot of stuff breeding and a lot of new things happening, so I figured time for an update, so stick around. One thing I do want to say, thank you so much for all the subscribing, all the liking, and the few of you that comment and we get to chat a little bit. That's what it's all about for me. I just enjoy interacting with people. But one thing that would really help me out is if like the 80% of you that aren't subscribed would subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. It would just help me out, help out the channel, help us to get more views, build more of a community, and have more fun, and allow me to be able to do more things for YouTube, and things can just keep getting better and better. So if you would consider subscribing, that would be amazing. If not, I totally understand. You don't have to, but again, it's free. Yeah, that's all I have. Let's get to some fish stuff. First one getting water changed is my 75-gallon here. So I figured I might as well let you guys take a look because I just threw some food in. We can get a pretty good idea of how many endlers we've made in here. There's endlers, blue shrimp, and blue mystery snails. I started with like 10 endlers. Well, maybe like 8 males and like 10 females, maybe like 18 endlers. And there's got to be like over 50 now. They're all over the bottom there and everything. And I have been feeding some to the gar as I need food for the gar. So I've probably fed 10 and there's still like 50 in here. So they're going crazy. The blue snails are going crazy. The shrimp I haven't seen any of, but I would not be shocked if the shrimplets aren't getting eaten with how many endlers are growing up in here. The shrimplets are probably getting eaten, so I don't think blue shrimp are gonna do well in here, but everything else, the endlers and the blue snails are doing fantastic. The cherry shrimp have a ton of babies in here that we're not gonna see, and my flashlight decided to go swimming on me, so I really can't like light it up in this video, unfortunately. But there's a baby right there. There's probably at least 20 babies roaming around in here. There's a baby that's like almost adult size. There's another tiny little one there. I mean, they're everywhere in here. So this filterless shrimp kiddie pool is going so well. And as a matter of fact, I set up 2 more. One for more reds that are exploding, and that one down there is for blues. I gotta pull this siphon and siphon out these tanks quick, and then I'll check back in and we'll get a look at what's going on in these tanks. Well, I lied sort of on accident. This one here is the only one getting changed because this is the one with like hundreds of baby, or maybe like 100 or so baby white clouds in it that are actually starting to look like white clouds. They're getting the stripes and everything, and tons of shrimp and tons of snails obviously are coming along with the amount of feeding I'm doing. The other ones are just snails, empty tanks waiting for babies. So which we have hatched out here, and again with no light you're not going to see them. There's one tiny little speckle one back there. Most of them in here are still on glass, so they're going to stay in there. But yeah, so this tank gets 50% like 3 times a week, and the other ones I'll just do like 20% once a week when I'm down here. I won't do them for the video because there's pretty much just snails in there. So and yeah, so that's what's going on the breeding rack. Pretty much nothing except this one tank of white clouds, but I have another spawn, and I have room for like 6 spawns, so super cool. We'll try to get as many of those as we can and just have fun with it. There's one stuck in the siphon. I'm out of there. And that's a good place to quit anyway. But there are, if you look here, every single one of these little white specks is a blue mystery snail. So I'm gonna have to start feeding this tank super heavy. There are some other ones here too. I have to start feeding this tank super heavy and doing huge water changes here too. That's exciting to get this many blue mystery snails. There's probably like 300 in here. If I turn the lights off for an hour and then come down, yeah, there's like 300 of them in here. It's amazing. So, but yeah, sorry, rambling. That's that for the breeding rack. This is cool. I pulled my monster fish out of here and put them in a glass tank. So the gar, 2 Oscars, blood parrot, excuse me, and a firemouth are all living in there now, because it's easier for me to heat that one up high than, excuse me, again, it was for me to heat the pond. And now I'm just doing feeder goldfish in here. There's 4 in there now, and then I got a whole another batch of them for 16 cents a piece. Some oranges and some reds, one calico and then 1 brown one down in there, because they don't really care about heating. Heated water, they'll be fine in like the high 60s on the floor here. So that'll be a cool, colorful little pond. And then the other great thing about having these guys in a heated tank up here is this tank having a lid on it actually acts as a radiator for the rest of the room. So the temperature in all the tanks have actually gone up, and the temperature in the room has gone up, having that tank heated to like 80 or 78 to 80 with a lid tight on it, because it's actually just radiating heat from 120 gallons of water into the whole room. So it's a little bit of science that's helping us out there, and I'm also happy to have the monsters back at eye level where I could see them. So let me move this siphon around again, and we'll move on to our next set of tanks. Here's the rest of our feeder goldfish, and there's one shabunkin in there, a little fancier fish. And here is the issue with buying 16 cents feeder fish. They're bred in huge quantities. Nobody at the farms that breed them can keep a great eye on them, and sick ones get sold all the time. So I've been medicating this tank for like a week, and I still have one right there showing signs of some white spot on the fin. One right there showing some signs of white spot on the fin. I lost 2, and everything else that you see here, I think I got like 10 total maybe, is doing fine. So this is going on week 2 of medication. I'm gonna just keep medicating and changing water until they're not showing any signs of sickness anymore. And then I'll feed them. I'll do a huge water change, a lot of clean water, medicine out of the water. I'll feed them, and I'll start watching their bellies. And when I'm getting them eating regularly in nice clean water and their bellies are getting big, that'll kind of tell me they don't have any like internal parasites left. And that'll give me enough time to make sure whatever they got going on the outside of their bodies there, probably ick, maybe I think it's Epstillus or something like that, the other like external issue that they can have. That'll give me long enough to make sure that stuff's not coming back too. And so I am treating for both with Canaplex, ick medication, Ick-X actually, and aquarium salt. And I'm not feeding them, so the water stays relatively clean, but I am doing water changes to keep like the old meds cycled out as I put new meds in, but only like 1 a week. And for the most part, they're just sitting in medicated water, and most of them are improving like dramatically. So good stuff there. I will mention that this is the last tank I'm going to change water on, because my siphon is now in a known contaminated aquarium. The other couple that I drained, I know those fish are not sick. Most of them were bred here from parent fish that I had quarantined and treated and done the whole routine with. But now that it is in a tank with sick fish, the parts are going to be completely dried and let sit dry to sanitize for a few days before I do any other water changes. But nobody else really needs it right now anyway. So I will not put any of this equipment in any other tanks, because we learned that lesson the hard way. If you've been following the channel for a while, we did have a disease spread through the fish room. It cost me most of my South American fish. So trying not to repeat that one. I guess now we can move on to the frog. I say frog because I only have one left. Shout out to Ginger, a friend of mine that I've actually met through YouTube and fish keeping, social media fish keeping, that lives not too far from me. She took 2 of the frogs. A coworker of mine took the other frog for his son, and we're left with 1 adult frog in a 10-gallon tank, who is still going to get bigger. But now I could keep him for the rest of his life in this tank as a pet without issues, because I was worried about overcrowding before. Purple beta's doing fine. This is just a snail tank. It had a beta in it. gave it to a coworker who wanted it as a gift for a friend's child, and I'm not really breeding betas anymore, so it doesn't really matter. Down here is our like red and clear male that I'm keeping just in case I decide to breed again. He's not going to make a guest appearance for us. He's probably up in that grass because I just put food in. Here's our white male. Beat the crap out of his female when we bred them. And then here is my next attempt at a South American tank. I'm sure it'll be successful. Like I said, I only lost the other ones to disease. Venom. Our electric blue jack Dempsey is gonna get like maybe a pair of Sebrums as tank mates in this tank, and that'll be that for the tank. I am trying to grow plants in here. I know that's dumb with the South Americans, but whatever. If it works, great. If not, well, we'll just do floating plants, and you know, it'll be what it is. This is just a fun tank for me. This is where the Mbuna were. They're now down here. I do have 8 yellow labs in a 20-gallon tank, so this one gets a ton of water changing. But with that coral, it's kind of cool. They're always darting in and out of the coral. They still might actually breed in here, but they are all like pretty juvenile. We'll see what happens. If it becomes to be a problem for space and stuff, we'll just rehome. I got them as like a breeding project from a friend for free, so I'll just end up giving them away for free or seeing if he wants them back because he's still breeding Africans. I decided after having them for a while, I'm not a fan of African cichlids. I love the fish. I love how they look. Not a fan of keeping them. They have personality in groups, but they don't have personality as individual fish. Whereas like the South Americans, it's like having a little puppy. Where these guys are more like a big colorful school that as a group has a lot of attitude and personality, but it's just not my thing. But you know, no hate. So we'll see what happens there. Here's our girls, our sorority. It's been months now and still absolutely no issues. Our school of the bloodfin tetras are doing great at patrolling their territory at the surface, as always. Our x-ray tetras that are a school in here are always like by themselves, which I find really odd. They don't seem to school like other tetras. Maybe I just don't have enough of them. They just cruise the tank. And all of our catfish are hiding as usual. There's a couple of the striped Raphaels down back in there, and up in this log that we will not see because that's how catfish are. But yeah, so nothing's changed here, and like as far as I'm concerned, this tank is done. It is what I want it to be, and until I don't love it anymore, it's gonna stay the way it is because I think it's cool. Here is our appropriately named axolotl, Freckles. It's my wife's pet. She fell in love with it, so we got it, and then I fell in love with this thing. It's an aquatic salamander. If you want to learn more about Freckles or keeping an axolotl of yourself or of your own, I will link that video right in the corner right now. But yeah, super cool. The glare is horrible. I'm trying to find a good angle for you guys. As adults, super easy to take care of, and it looks like he's gonna put on a show for us, which actually pretty friendly for what they are. Maybe I just got a friendly one, but he seems to like me, which is cool. They're usually not active, super active when the light's on. They just kind of chill. At night is when they get active. But yeah, if you want to learn more, check out my video from all the research I did. And then my favorite tank project right now, 125 cold water with golden white clouds, regular white clouds, maybe like 20 total. 2 baby bristlenose plecos, albinos, and about 6 of these magenta or purple mystery snails that are now breeding. And this is going to be, hopefully in 6 months time, a complete jungle. It's getting fertilized. The soil is just sand, so I added fertilizer to the soil. I'm fertilizing the water, and these top floating plants are exploding. So if these plants down here aren't doing too well, I'll just remove those and leave all the nutrients for them. But so far every plant is growing. We're going through like our algae phase. We had green water for a little while that just cleared up. There's a bristlenose. And the showstoppers, or what I'm hoping to be the showstoppers here, are pearl scale and our demikin, which was all white a little bit ago and is now starting to transform as it grows into looking like a panda pattern. And now, like, generally until they're 3 years old, 3 to 5 years old, you're not gonna know what color they're gonna be. But if this one ends up being like a full finned like panda demikin, I mean, that's a $300 fish. Granted, I never will sell him because I just love having the fancies. It'll be super rare, which will be kind of cool. And the pearl scale is just like a derpy looking fish, and I don't know, I just love them. That's kind of all I have to say about them. Super easy to take care of, nothing crazy about them. I'm not breeding them. I love the fancy goldfish. They're just weird enough that I'm not too weirded out by them. And that's it for the fish room here. All right, guys. Well, if you like the update, let me know. Like and or comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know anything that you want to know more about. I am starting to do more research and film more like educational stuff again, like I did the axolotl video, tiger bar video. We talked about breeding a little bit, egg scattering fish, stuff like that. If you're into that kind of stuff, let me know. Anything down here that you want to know more about, I will gladly get into that conversation and maybe do a video about it. But yeah, so like a halfway done update, I guess. Still working on the pond, still working on filling all of our breeding rack tanks with fish. It's turned into a grow out rack, but and still just got, yeah, a lot of things just in progress. I mean, it'll always be in progress down here, but I was hoping to have a lot more done by now, but things happened, and obviously had to dedicate some time to family. Went on vacation for a week, you know, list goes on and on of things that are going on. I'm gonna stop the video here and I'm gonna turn the camera because there's something you guys like need to see. I have a breeding pair of Oscars apparently. They're taking turns cleaning off the rock at the bottom of the tank. So what I need you guys to do is let me know if you want me to pull those eggs and try to grow some baby Oscars out. Oh my gosh, I don't want to even get close. I just want to let them do their thing. They're gonna spawn. That is crazy. Well, I've never had anything like that happen. Never had anything like that happen when I was filming before. That's neat. Apparently I'm breeding Oscars now. If things go crazy in that tank, we'll have to separate them. But they are digging their pit and they will probably spawn right now. The lights were off for a little bit, so they probably think it's morning. So, and they're, sorry, I'm watching them and not me. They're chasing everything away. So let me know if you want a video on that as well. I have a tank that is like almost running out of water with a siphon in it. So I got to get going. Again, please subscribe. It would help me out a lot. And I will see you next time. And thank you for stopping by.